Let's get this figured out. This world gon' give me whatever I need until I get this vision out. Then they gon' pay me whatever I ask, cause I got it figured out. Family be checking all up on a nigga to see how I'm feeling now. Damn, they love to see a nigga really make a killing now. I put a lock on the game and I hide the code and the keys. I am not playing no games, I really play this shit for keeps. That shit for me.
Heads YouTube, what's going on? It is your boy Coach DC coming back at you today with another video. And yeah, y'all know we have a lot of activity in the community, deep dives and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, we've been talking about that, but I actually did get a chance to play the beta for an extended period of time. No, I did not go to Orlando. No, I know y'all like, nah, I ain't doing that. Nah, one of my shout out to my one of my dogs, man. BFL Third, man. He let me use his profile, and so I got a chance to, get about 6-7 hours on the game, man. Yeah, I was up about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. But all right, so here we go. Let's start with things. I'm not even gonna really go with a positive, negative type deal. I'll just kind of say what it is. The click on is still a little iffy, and so I understand it's still the beta, and so I'm not gonna just dive all over the functionality stuff as of yet. So yeah, it was still some issues with kind of getting through plays. The custom stem idea for zones, that could be executed a little better. I don't foresee people being able to make a lot of those kind of adjustments pre-snap, even though there are some parts of the pre-snap functionality that are better. But as far as the custom zone thing, it's just kind of hard to find, and then it really doesn't direct you as to how to do it, and so it's going to take a little bit of practice kind of to get that down. Not saying it can't be done, because I was able to kind of get my feet on the ground with it a few hours in, but it's still just something that probably needs to be explained a little better in terms of just the functionality part about how to access it and get to it. But no, it's a great function, no doubt. Just needs to be better, how to get to it. But that was one thing. One thing I can say, I don't know, and I've had several people tell me this at this point. This game has a very 2K-ish feel to it. Yeah, I just said that. It does. Even the graphics, like, look at what you're looking at now on the screen. And so even though we play on that, that vertical angle, I mean, that all 22 basic style angle, even though we play at this angle right here, the feel is still very condensed in this version of Madden. In the 26 game, the field spacing seems a lot better, and I don't know. That's one thing in my notes that I wrote down. I don't know if it's if it's a slightly adjusted camera angle, but the field does the spacing feels a lot better on 26. Meaning, guys aren't trampling over each other on routes as much. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but yeah, not as much. Movement. I gotta give them. I gotta give them a lot of credit on the movement. I have to. I don't know if a lot of y'all are old enough to remember NFL Game Day. Like, Game Day was one of my favorite games, because Game Day was probably one of the first games where it was like physics involved. In the running and the how you broke tackles and how you made your fakes and all that kind of stuff. And it was real user-based. Yeah, Game Day was a super user-based game. And so it has a feel like that to it. And so I think user skill, like I said, it's not the finished version. Y'all know how they do. They trick us into this beta thing every year, and then we cry a little bit, and the game turns right back into this masterpiece. But hopefully that is not the case. But from a movement standpoint, I love the movement. I love the fluidity. That's a word you're probably going to hear me use a lot. As I go through these little cycle of videos until the game comes out. Really good fluidity, really good change of direction from a user perspective, even though, like I said, even though the click on, I feel like can be better, when you do get the click on, the actual responsiveness of the player is really, really good. It's almost like when you control a guy on this game, it's almost like when you run the ball, you can make any move that you make when you run the ball. Actually, when you're on defense, when you're controlling a guy, user stuff. And so, A+ with the movement. Got to give him credit on that. Let's talk about the tools. Now, one thing that I'm very impressed with on the game is the tools. I love the fact, and by tools I just mean, like, what do you have at your fingertips to combat certain things and do differently that can make your particular game and your particular playing style unique. So I love every quarterback having all of the hot routes. And this, let me go into another thing. This is why I was trying not to listen to people as they did their deep dives after they played, because I just have to see it for myself. There are flat routes on the game. There are wheel routes on the game. You just have to know how to access them. And that means for every quarterback, it's nothing special. It's just different things on this game they have given us access to in order to be able to get what we want on the field. And so that's what I like. It's like, it's going to provide a unique experience where I can make adjustments that nobody else will make. And, the next guy can make adjustments that maybe I don't think of. And it can all, play into their style of play. And so just the fact that every quarterback has all of the hot routes, and then, the route combinations that you're able to put together on the game are sick. I mean, sick. The throwing will be an issue. I'm going to tell you now, if you go out there with all those crazy settings and stuff, and I'm not even, I got the Bible26 coming out, so I'm not even going to really go into a lot of stuff, but there are options this year. There has been a significant improvement in placement and accuracy throwing. I can admit to that. Yeah. The revamp does need some retooling right now. Yeah, I think they just need to turn some dials on it. It's still really good, but they just need to turn some dials, in a few different directions on it to, just to get it right to where it needs to be. Again, along with the spacing, just understanding and controlling your I said I wasn't going to say that. Understanding and controlling how to control your trajectory, your arm angles. Let's just say that. Yeah, I can say that. Your arm angles, learning how to control your arm angles on your throws is going to be a big deal on this game, because the passing windows, until they scale it back after we cry, the passing windows close very fast on this game. So it's like, it's not that you can't get people open. You can get people open, but it's the fact that you're gonna have to know what throw to make, and you're gonna have to not only know what throw to make, you're gonna have to make that throw on time, because if you throw it a hair late, that window could be closed just that fast. This might even be a year for me to experiment really running match, because I actually, I was impressed with match coverage. Me, the guy who hates match coverage. I was actually impressed with match coverage. It's still very, you can still glitch it out, but there are certain portions of the field, especially like when you're inside the, maybe they're inside your 20 or something like that, maybe 30 yards in, you can run some very effective match concepts, especially with the custom stem, being able to custom stem your deep blues. That stuff is deep, man. So it's a lot of stuff. I'm telling y'all, man, this I'm like, boy, this is gonna be a lot of stuff to really learn on this game. But from what I see thus far, I like it because I think there's gonna be an emphasis on user control. Because it's just gonna be the AI puts you in good positions to make plays, but it's like they don't make too many of those plays for you, and so it's almost like, yeah, the user kind of gets rewarded for being a user. All right, man, I'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more. Appreciate you guys, man. Enjoy your Friday. Safe.